and this is Amira Saving. In this video, I'll be talking about enactment as a source of law in Ghana. Enactment, Act of Parliament, or primary legislations are laws made by Parliament by the power vested in them in Article 93 of the 1992 Constitution. By virtue of this article, Parliament has the power to make laws, amend laws, and repeal laws. It has the power to make laws regulating its own activities, the activities of professional, trade, and business organizations, as well as the country as a whole. The Parliament in Ghana, unlike that of the UK, is not supreme. Therefore, it is subject to the Constitution in the exercise of its legislative. Some limitations placed on Parliament by the Constitution are: Parliament does not have the power to change the decision of any court. Also, it does not have the power to make Ghana into a one-party state. Again, it does not have the power to make any law that has a retrospective effect. In addition, Parliament cannot make any law affecting the institution of chieftaincy unless it introduces it to the National House of Chiefs. Lastly, Parliament cannot make any law or introduce a bill with regards to financial matters unless it is introduced by the President or on his behalf. All bills, with the exception of bills with regards to financial matters, will not be introduced in Parliament unless the bill and its explanatory memorandum is published in the Gazette 14 days before its introduction, explaining the purpose of the bill, defects in the existing law, and how the proposed new law will correct this defect. The procedure outlined by the Constitution for a bill to pass through before it becomes a law are the introduction stage or first reading, the committee stage or second reading, the consideration stage or third reading, the presidential assent, and publication in the Government Gazette. At the introduction stage, the bill is usually introduced by the sector minister, who may provide a speech with regards to the bill. The title of the bill is read by the Clerk of Parliament, and that concludes the first reading. After the first reading, the bill is forwarded to the relevant committee on the bill, T stage. The relevant committee outlines any defects or deliberates on the bill to identify any loopholes in the bill and make any proposed amendment to the bill. They are required by law to write a report on their deliberation, and this report is brought to the floor of Parliament, and Parliament debates on it as to whether or not it accepts the amendments made to the bill. When Parliament accepts the amendment to the bill, it is then read for the second time. After it's read for the second time, the bill will be discussed in detail at the consideration or third reading stage. At this stage, the bill is read by the Parliament as a whole, clause by clause, in order to further identify any loopholes or defects in the law. After deliberation by Parliament, and if Parliament accepts any amendment to the bill is read for the third time by Parliament. After the bill is read for the third time, the Clerk of Parliament ensures that any amendments may be reflected in the current bill. A copy is made and certified as true copy. At the presidential stage, it has the option to assent or refuse its assent to the bill. When the President assents to the bill becomes an act of Parliament but does not take effect until it is published in the Government Gazette. However, in the situation where the President refuses to assent to the bill, he shall furnish the Speaker of Parliament with a memo outlining parts of the bill that he thinks needs to be reconsidered and any amendments he suggests to the Speaker of Parliament. Or he may also refer the bill to the Council of State for their consideration and comment. In both instances, when the bill is brought back to Parliament again, Parliament may accept the bill or any amendment by a resolution of not more than 2/3 majority of Parliament. After this, when the bill is accepted by 2/3 majority of Parliament, it is sent back to the President for it to be assented to. After the presidential assent, the Act of Parliament is then published in the Government Gazette, and at that stage, the Act of Parliament comes into force or takes effect after its publication. A case where this procedure was challenged was in the case of Ezuama Manan versus the Attorney General. In this case, the Interior Minister introduced a Narcotics Control Commission Bill, which has a purpose of prohibiting the cultivation, use, and sale of cannabis, aka weed. The bill and its explanatory memorandum was published in the Government Gazette as prescribed by the Constitution. However, just before the bill was sent to the President for its presidential assent, a new clause was added to the bill, that is Section 43, and that section had the effect of empowering the Minister of Interior to license the cultivation of cannabis or weed for industrial purposes. The plaintiff brought an action to the Supreme Court for a declaration that the Parliament has acted in a manner inconsistent with the Constitution, and that law was also inconsistent with the Constitution as well. The Supreme Court, by a majority, upheld the plaintiff claim and held that Section 43 of the Narcotics Control Commission Act was inconsistent with the Constitution because Parliament did not follow the required procedure outlined in the Constitution. That section ought to have been discussed by Parliament and giving Parliament the opportunity to accept or reject the new section, but that was not done in this case. Also, the policy rationale for the bill was changed by the insertion of this clause. Therefore, the court struck out that section of the law. In conclusion, enactment are laws made by Parliament by the exercise of their legislative power conferred on them by the Constitution. However, the exercise of this power is not without limit, and any law or bill made by Parliament that does not follow the procedure prescribed by the Constitution does not become a law, even if it's published in the Government Gazette. I hope you learned something today. If you found value in this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Till next time, have a lovely day.